Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's have a look at Cape Fear from 1962. We've all seen the 1990s version, no questions there. And the music composed by Bernard Herrmann and directed by J. Lee Thompson. But some of you never knew that the 90s version was a remake. So back to the movie. So far we see this guy walk to the local courthouse here, and his name is Max Cady, played by Robert Mitchum, who will come back in the remake for this movie in the 90s. And he is looking for somebody specific here. Haha, didn't bother to help her. So he asks the janitor here where he can find attorney Sam Bowden, and Max Cady goes inside the courtroom hearing, and we now see Sam Bowden himself, played by Gregory Peck, who will also come back in the 90s version. So that court hearing is done, and after that whispering with the judge, and he leaves as Max Cady continues to stare at Sam Bowden. So Sam heads to his car and is about to start it and sees the keys are taken out by Max Cady. And he makes Sam remember where he saw him the first time, and it was almost 9 years ago when he sentenced him to jail.
Hey, look at that, would you? Look at that wiggle. Maybe she...
And Cady gets distracted by Booty and Sam driving away. And Sam driving away in a hurry, and Cady will keep on bothering him. And Sam is back home hugging his daughter, Nancy Bowden, played by Lori Martin, as the Bowdens are going bowling today, as Nancy has invited someone named Betty. Now we meet Sam's wife, Peggy Bowden, played by Polly Bergen. And the Bowdens are at the bowling place, already bowling, and here comes Max Cady, since he's following Sam Bowden everywhere, to annoy Sam Bowden for putting him in jail. And Cady asks for a beer, and here it comes. So as Sam Bowden is about to bowl again, he sees Max Cady watching him, where he comes tapping Sam from behind and tells him he'll be watching. And the next scene, Sam calls a local police station and asks for a police chief Dutton, and the police operator says that he probably left, but he didn't. And we now see police chief Mark Dutton, played by Martin Balsam, who will also come back in the 1990s version. So Scorsese managed to bring back all three main actors of the movie, and answers Sam's call, and Sam tells him he would like to meet up with Dutton, and replying him to come over to his house. And he makes it to Dutton's place and offers Sam a beer, and now tells him about Max Cady, who has been bothering him. So far no threats, and starts telling him the life story how he met Max Cady in Baltimore, Maryland, and he saw him attacking a girl there, and Sam had to be the witness for telling the court and the judge that Max Cady attacked a girl there, also known as a and Dutton responded that Max Cady may be personally blaming him entirely. So to make sure Max Cady has registered to re-enter the city they live in, since he's on parole, Dutton calls up to make sure that Cady is registered. And Cady registered yesterday, and his address is somewhere near the dock, since Cady can't afford a home or an apartment right now. So he tells the lieutenant on the phone to check on Max Cady, and will call him back as Sam Bowden shakes Dutton's hand and wishes him good night. And Max Cady's at a club right now, and the girl notices him staring.
Are you trying to pick me up?
Yes.
And the cops are here to pick up Cady, and he doesn't like being grabbed and walks with the cops back to the station. So Max Cady thinks the police have picked him up because they think he's under arrest for intoxication, but shows him a doctor's card instead. So Dutton goes out to bring in Sam Bowden, and Cady's now asked to take his clothes off for a strip search, and steps aside, and Dutton wants to know how much money Cady has, and he finds out he has $7. But Cady says to check deeper into his wallet to find a bank book with $5,400, and will not answer how Cady got that money, and replies to ask his escrow officer from Baltimore, Maryland. And Cady will not leave this town as long as Sam Bowden lives. The next day, Sam Bowden receives a call from Dutton again, telling him Cady was telling the truth that he sold his family estate for $5,900 net profit, and Sam asks when he's going to set Cady free, and Dutton already has, but before Sam continues to speak on the phone, he hears his dog barking very loudly. And Dutton continues to say that there are legal ways of getting rid of Max Cady, and Sam ends the call here for now. And here comes Peggy telling Sam that their dog is poisoned or something. Maybe Max Cady did this, and the three rush to the hospital. And the doctor here tells Sam that his dog couldn't be saved, even if he got there on time. And this is the same as murdering a human. And the Bowdens are at home and Nancy's crying that the dog is dead. Marilyn and Sam is ready to tell Nancy and Peggy the truth that Sam here was a witness for a convict 8 years ago, and blames Sam for his arrest, which is, of course, Max Cady. And Nancy all mad that she knows, and Sam knows Max did it, but they have no proof, and will give her a picture of Max Cady for now to stay away from him. And with Peggy Bowden's asleep dreaming on instances that never showed up in the movie, and wakes up to see Sam isn't here and checks on Nancy, and she isn't in the room either. And now that she walks downstairs. Does look like Max Cady, doesn't it? Here comes Nancy with milk and cookies and tells Peggy that Sam is talking to a policeman right now. Here he comes walking in and hugs Peggy. The next day, Sam Bowden is back doing the usual with another court hearing. And this guy here calls in Sam to tell him that Chief Dutton needs to see him right now. And here comes Sam, and Dutton tells him that a Dave Grafton is here with Max Cady, a well-known lawyer. What's funny is Gregory Peck, coming back in the 1990s version, does play Dave Grafton's role, but his name is Lee Heller when he's defending Robert De Niro in that version. Yeah, I laughed the first time I saw that, A lot of rewrites, but pretty much the same movie. But Dutton does take Sam to see this Dave Grafton, and he's played by Jack Crucian. And of course, he's brought Max Cady. And now starts outlining what's happened to Max Cady, including him being accused of poisoning Sam Bowden's dog. Max Cady did that as he smiles, and Grafton continues to outline more of Cady's accusations. Funny how he instantly forgets that and goes back to outlining more suspicions made to his client, and starts yelling that Max Cady can't even be free or else bothering him, and even stumps Grafton's big mouth.
Then I ask, who furnished you with that information?
And even stumps Grafton's big mouth here that he knows Sam Bowden's house is being watched by the police if Cady were to trespass. Yeah, how does Grafton even know that? Dutton responding he's not making any special favors to Sam Bowden of having his house being watched for Max Cady dropping in any time, and Cady and Grafton leave. And Dutton now speaks to Sam and now brings up a Hoffman murder, telling him that he can't arrest anyone for committing a murder in someone's mind. And Dutton suggests Sam to hire a private detective named Charlie Severs, and that he will dig everything up on Max Cady. And the same night we do see Charlie Severs, a private detective played by Telly Savalas, tailing Max Cady, who actually did get the girl from the bar the other night, but she has no idea what she's going to experience soon. Well, if you've seen the remake, similar kind of experience, but less graphic.
But it's a great comfort for a girl to know she could not possibly sink any lower.
So she's a ha 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 ha. So Charlie Severs gets a public telephone and calls up the sergeant that Max Cady is with a girl at Sherman and DeSoto, the intersection, and the girl he's with is named Diane Taylor. And Charlie says that the sergeant can arrest Cady for lewd vagrancy, whatever that means. I'm too young to even know what that means. So Robert Mitchum here is doing a less intense version of the scene that Robert De Niro did in the 1990s. So less extreme, as he looks like he will kill Diane. So Charlie points out to the lieutenant that Max Cady's up there, and it's the same duo that did pick up Max Cady at the bar. And the lieutenant notices Max Cady has escaped and finds Diane Taylor beside the bed, and she's not dead yet, but you can tell she's been So the lieutenant and Charlie Severs figure out what's wrong with her, and Charlie goes in to talk to Diane Taylor and tells her he can help her. And he will take her to the homicide bureau to show Cady's past work, if you understand what I mean. So Diane gets up and uses the telephone to call up a bus station so she can leave and doesn't care about what Charlie just told her. And he tells her all she has to do is sign a police complaint and Max Cady will be in jail for 6 months. And to her that's not enough. And Max Cady told her before he left that more will be coming to her. And Charlie tells Diane that he's here to help and that his client, Sam Bowden, have received threats to his wife and daughter and he can help Diane. So she continues to pack her things and just cries. But the next scene, Sam Bowden has arrived to see Diane Taylor and she's about to leave as Charlie gives her a second to reconsider since Sam's a lawyer and can help her. But she runs away and Charlie tells Sam he's just wasting money by following Max Cady and suggests to him to see someone named Alex Jepson.
And for the right price? Are you kidding?
Yeah, paying a criminal and his buddies is not the solution either, and leaving Sam with some advice to fight off Max Cady like an animal. And the next morning, the Bowden family are at the harbor and painting their boat, and Sam will be back with paint dinner. And here comes Max Cady again, just watches Nancy Bowden. And here comes Sam again and sees Max there near his boat and tells him to f*** off and says something to trigger Sam here, and it's all planned.
You run.
Nancy finally sees Max Cady, the guy that killed her dog. So next day, with Nancy done school for the day and just looks around to see no one here is in Sam's car, and just waits, and she turns out to see someone that does walk like Max Cady. And she sees Max Cady walking towards her, and he stops and starts walking again. And Nancy runs out of the car and she just runs off, and Max Cady watching behind the fence and smiles. And hides inside here comes this guy who walks like Max Cady. It's pretty obvious it isn't him since Max Cady was wearing a different shirt. But this happens. So she bumps into who she thought was Max Cady and runs into the real Max Cady, into him, and onto the street, and almost got run over. And here comes Peggy to see Nancy isn't in the car and sees something from far and sees it's Nancy and tells her Max Cady was seen, that she saw him. And here comes Sam and runs up to see Nancy is fine when Peggy thought she would. Take a second at the store to come back to Nancy. Sam Bowden ready to defeat Max Cady and takes out his gun, and Peggy telling him to not kill him since he didn't do anything to Nancy, and to just pay him to get out of here, and even warns him she'll call the police on Sam for trying to kill Max Cady. And she hurries inside and calls up the police station and asks to hand the phone to Chief Dutton. She got carried away. So Max Cady's back at the same bar where Diane Taylor was first seen, and she sees Sam Bowden sitting there and buys him a drink. And Sam actually listened to Peggy to pay him to get out of town and asks how much does he want, and losing 8 years to prison going to crack easy. He isn't going to crack easy. And now asks for another drink, and Sam's ready to pay Max Cady $10,000 now and another $10,000 in the next 2 years. No amount of money will change Cady's mind since he had a wife and a child too before Sam Bowden testified against him, and the two left Max Cady and his ex-wife, and she married a plumber. And Max's child doesn't know who he is. And Sam questions why he needs to know this, but Max Cady wants him to make sure of what it's like, and continues to tell him that he went to see his ex-wife one time, and tells him she almost hit him on the head, and to make her tell her plumber husband that she took a vacation from him, and Max made his ex-wife write a love letter with dirty words in it for him. And Sam now knows Cady doesn't want the 20 grand, because that's not going to bring back the last 8 years in prison, and he's always wanted to kill his wife's plumber husband. And with Sam listening, disgusts him, leaves, and pays for the drinks. And Sam left with enough money so Max can buy another drink.
Hey, Buster. I believe my cousin left me enough to buy me another blast.
And with Sam back at home telling Peggy that Max Cady is really after Nancy, just like De Niro does in the remake. And Sam says he would hate to see a little girl testify with extreme details. And Peggy wants to know there should be a solution to all this, and Sam knows what it may be. And meanwhile, we see Max Cady getting into a fight with 3 guys, and we see this last one running away from Cady. And it's so obvious that Sam Bowden listened to the private detective Charlie Severs from earlier about calling his other contact, Alex Jepson, to handle Max Cady the hard way. And Max Cady, being too powerful, beat them all up and calls up Peggy Bowden late at night. And she calls up Sam that Cady's on the phone.
Remember the story I told you about my old lady? That was just laughs, counselor. That was kid stuff.
And Sam answering back on the phone as Max Cady knows he paid those guys who tried to beat him up and being serious now by further bothering the Bowden family, and Sam talking to Peggy about taking Nancy away from here and hiding away somewhere very safe. The next day we see Dave Grafton again see Sam Bowden and knows all about those guys he hired to beat up Max Cady, and can smell a court case soon. Since Sam has to leave, he hands his assistant here the case he has for today, with Sam walking outside and stops and comes back with a plan tells Chief Dutton here that his plan is stupid, but we don't know what the plan is yet, as Dutton is all fired up, since Alex Jepson is in the next room being interrogated for beating up Max Cady. But Sam Bowden tells him that this will all happen at Cape Fear River. Now you know why the movie's called Cape Fear. And about a houseboat where you can hide Nancy and Peggy, for now. And also tells Dutton Charlie Severs is back too, that Dave Grafton has asked him to fly to Atlanta, Georgia for a committee hearing, since he knows Max Cady will be following Sam. When Sam Bowden arrives in Atlanta, Georgia, he will hide somewhere there. Will fly back here and end up going back to Cape Fear River to meet up with Nancy and Peggy, all to fool Max Cady that Sam will be in Atlanta until Thursday. And if Cady finds and locates a Cape Fear houseboat, then Sam will lure him onto the houseboat and will shoot Max Cady personally. Well, now you know the plan. With Charlie laughing and Dutton not wanting to do this, Sam needs one police deputy for this job. So we have made it to Cape Fear River with Sam Bowden driving the boat and are looking for the houseboat. And with Sam Bowden ready to fly off to Atlanta, he says bye for now and drives off, and see Sam Bowden ready to get on the plane.
Now boarding at gate 3.
And Max Cady's back and goes inside the airport and acts like he has a package to deliver to Sam. Asks when Sam Bowden will be back, which is, like I said, on Thursday, and Max Cady will wait till then. And Peggy and Nancy are at the houseboat and hear unusual sounds outside as Peggy takes out the gun and just waits for something to happen. And it's Sam Bowden, and he's back and with him he brought a deputy, Mr. Kurzerk here, to help him of the sheriff's office, like Sam requested. And goes out with Peggy to tell her that the Atlanta trip was fake. It's pretty obvious there he never went to Atlanta. This was all to fool Max Cady. And calls back Charlie Severs that Max Cady has checked everywhere to make sure Sam Bowden did go to Atlanta, Georgia. And the next day, Max Cady further spying on the Bowden home and sees Charlie Severs grabbing a briefcase and drives off. And stops here to give Sam Bowden a call to make sure it's clear to come over to the houseboat, since no sign of Max Cady anywhere. So Charlie goes there now and grabs a boat to get to Sam Bowden. And here comes Max Cady spying more, since he knows something's fishy. And Cady hasn't made it and sees Charlie delivering the briefcase to Peggy. And with all that following Charlie Severs, we are now in the final 20 minutes of the movie and see Peggy putting dishes away, and Sam Bowden keeping an eye under the bridge where the houseboat is with a gun in his hand, and is waiting patiently for Max Cady to show up. And Max Cady, hiding in the bushes, spying on Peggy, and is ready to go near the houseboat. And Max Cady ready to dive in and swim to the houseboat, and Nancy dropping her ball paddle, causing a sound. And Cady ready to rip off the alarm system, and kills Mr. Kurzerk. And why was he putting mud on his face? So the Bowdens now hear creaking sounds, and the houseboat is moving as Sam yells for Kurzerk, only to see he's already dead, walking under the bridge. And Max Cady has made it inside the houseboat, and it's dark inside, and Sam tells Nancy to call the police since she was never on the houseboat. And Max Cady's all alone with Peggy Bowden as she grabs for the knife behind her, and he's to out of her, and he admits that Nancy was the one he wanted to, I'm not going to say it, but to him, Nancy can come anytime to him, and him thinking consent will save him from going back to jail. And Peggy gasping very loudly as Max Cady is about to her. And Sam has made it after swimming back to the boat and finds Peggy all helpless, and she tells him this.
It's Nancy! He only wanted to get you away from her! It's Nancy! It's Nancy!
So Cady actually swam back to see Nancy and sees he's here, as she says it, repeatedly, and Max Cady is a child. And he's all ready for Nancy that he grabs her mouth and brings her forcefully, and Sam is back too, as he gets into a fight with Max Cady, what he always wanted, and Cady now trying to choke Sam and drown him at the same time. And goes back to Nancy to run and hide, and here comes Max Cady again, chasing Sam Bowden with a rod, as Sam is hiding for now. And Sam sees his gun and tries to pick it up, and Cady's slowly walking to him and shoots Max Cady, and what a dodge. And Max Cady at this point has given up and just wants Sam to shoot him already, and Max Cady will enjoy life imprisonment with this dramatic scene. which I won't play. You can watch on your own. And that is Cape Fear from 1962, as we see the Bowden family being taken back home. Great movie, and I'll see you next time in Cape Fear from 1991. The remake, almost 30 years later, the version that everyone has seen. Take care, see you soon, and watch away.